I'm Jim Bruce, and I want to welcome you to an online learning module about results. I want to introduce the topic of results by talking briefly about the Golden Gate Bridge. First of all, I want to note that the bridge was some 65 years in planning. People always wanted a way to cross the mouth of the San Francisco Bay. And so in the mid-1800s, they began to think of ways of doing it. First, they tried barges, but they really wanted a bridge. And it wasn't until the early 1930s that the technology had moved to the front where they could construct a suspension bridge that crossed the mouth of the bay. That bridge held the record for being the longest suspension bridge from the time of its dedication in 1937 to about 1965. And the towers that supported the bridge continue to be the tallest towers of any suspension bridge until 1998. Now the bridge's records have been surpassed, but it stands as a monument to modern engineering. Some 40 million vehicles cross the bridge every year. So I look at it as a result, a tremendous engineering result. The result being the final consequence of a series of actions or events. The bridge is particularly meaningful to me because my grandfather worked on the cable spinning crew in the early 1930s that resulted in that bridge. If we turn from the bridge to IT, we ask, what are the results that we in IT need to deliver to our customers? I think those results fall into three categories. First, we need to deliver services and products that we've committed to at the standard that we have committed to deliver them at. Second, since those products and services age, they don't continue forever to meet customer expectations, we have to have continuous improvement. We have to improve the products and services. We need to reduce their cost. We need to make them better meet the goal that they were intended to meet when we created them. And then, since everyone is looking for new ways to deliver products and services, we have to build new products and new services that meet these new needs. As we think about the results of our work, we're taken immediately back to the way we have in our leadership program framed the work that we do. We talk about our current state that delivers current products and services, and we talk about a future state that represents where we hope to take those products and services into the future. Now, if you think about your current state, we think about the people who are working in the organization, the skills that they have. We think about the resources that we have in order to do the work, to fund the work that we're doing. We think about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, threats of the organization. We think about the vision it has. We think about the goals it has set for itself. All of those really take us from the work to the results. And we need to think about the current state in terms of the results that we deliver from that current state. We do that because results are what we're paid to deliver. If we're not delivering results for our customer, then they can legitimately ask, why am I paying you to do the work you're doing? Now, we can talk about results from the point of view of looking around our campus. If we're at a private university, a large private university, one of the results that our president is very interested in is the endowment portfolio. Is the endowment portfolio growing? Is it suffering tremendous declines? Is the money that I am counting on coming from the earnings of that portfolio available to me for teaching and research? If the portfolio is declining, then I've got a budgetary problem. If it's growing only at the rate of inflation, I can continue to do what I'm doing now. But if there are new gifts and increased earnings, then I can use some of that money to do new things for the university. If I'm the vice president of research, I'm very interested in the research revenue. Are the research contracts and grants that we have meeting the needs to fund our faculty, to provide the equipment, the new equipment for our laboratories, and to fund research assistants and postdoctoral fellows? If I'm the dean of admissions or the manager of housing, I'm very interested in whether or not my program of attracting new freshmen, new students to my campus, are delivering freshmen at the rate that I have put into my plan. If it falls less than the rate, then that really turns into a budgetary problem, because all those freshmen pay tuition. If, on the other hand, I have more students arrive than I've expected, I have a housing crisis. If I am the vice president for information systems, or am a major IT client, I'm very interested in whether or not the customers of the IT organization are as satisfied as they might be. Is the customer satisfaction rating dropping? Is it increasing because of the work that IT is doing to keep its services at the highest level possible? I've shown you 4 different measures of results. All of those results are trailing indicators. All of the measures I've shown you are trailing indicators. They look at what's happened in the past. Someone has said that only looking at trailing indicators is like driving a car forward at high speed, looking only in your rearview mirrors. So we have to ask, are there leading indicators? Are there forward-looking indicators that will help us understand what the future may look like given the work that we're doing today? One of those might be a spot survey. If I'm in IT and if I'm delivering a service, I might ask the client at the time of delivery of that service, whether or not they're satisfied with it. And I could look at that in multiple dimensions. Given that I'm an engineer, for me, thinking about results, I want to focus on an equation. So results are a function of my vision, my strategy for reaching that vision, for the plan that I develop to implement that strategy, and the resources that I need in order to do the work. The vision is where we're going into the future. If I'm in IT today, one of the big issues is reducing the number of email servers on the campus. And so I might have a goal, as a number of universities have had, to move to a single email server or a single email service, perhaps even offered off campus by someone like Microsoft or Google. So my vision might be to provide to my campus a new, different, higher quality, higher performing email service. What's my strategy now? I have to figure out a strategic thrust that takes me from where I am today to that vision. And so that thrust, that strategy, needs to encompass all the way from the broad scale planning of asking what's available in the marketplace, to talking to clients and stakeholders about it, to looking at the resources that might be required. And out of that strategy comes the detailed plan. How do I go about looking at the products that are available out there? How do I go about talking to my stakeholders, talking to my customers about this service that we might offer in the future? How do I go through the process of implementing that service and finally delivering and supporting that service? In order to do that, I have to have resources. I have to have financial resources in order to fund the work to get me to the service. And then I have to have resources to enable me to offer that as a service and support that as a service into the future. I also have to have people who have the skills in order to do the work at each of these steps. And there are different skills. The skills that might go out and talk to the clients about the product or service that I'm going to deliver are different from the programming skills to implement that service. Different from the skills that help desk people might have in answering questions about that service. If I'm committed to deliver a set of products and services or a particular service, I have to ask, what behaviors do I as a leader need to exhibit in order to more effectively and efficiently deliver that service? I think there are 5 that I want to mention. The first, I need to focus on results. I need to focus on where we're going. And I need to do that because if I'm not focused on delivering those results, no one on my staff will necessarily be focused on the importance of delivering those results. The second thing, I need to also communicate my expectations and do that clearly. I don't want a staff member to come up to me well into the project and say, "I didn't know that's what you wanted." I want it to be clear up front what the result is, the intermediate result is at each step along the way. I also want my clients, my customers, to know what it is I'm delivering and how I'm progressing towards the delivery of that result. In order to be able to communicate those things, I have to measure the work that we're doing. I have to measure with consistency and with accuracy so that I know where we are in the project and I know the quality of the result that is going to come out of the work we're doing. The fourth thing that is a behavior I need to focus on is continuously taking action. Too often we stop and we debate unnecessarily things in the project, decisions that have already been made that seemed wise when we made them, and there is no evidence to the contrary today. So we have to continue to take action, to continue to move forward on the goals that we have set. And finally, as we move toward the result, we need to continuously get feedback about the actions we're taking, about the quality of work we're doing, feedback about how this is going to meet the expectations of our clients. This has been a brief introduction to the subject of results. Now it's your turn to take the next step. Take the workbook that you have and take time to reflect on your role in delivering results on your university campus. What are the results that you are expected to deliver? What are the results that your team is expected to deliver? What are the results that your organization is expected to deliver? And how are those results going to impact the work of the university that you're a part of? If you do that before you get to the next workshop, it will enable us to form small teams to further the discussion of delivering results on your campus and across the campuses that are represented in the core.